Welcome students and welcome friends. So we are here for the topic contractions. So we often use short forms called contractions in spoken English. For instance, instead of saying I am here, we often say I'm here. Instead of he is late, we say he is late. When we write a short form, we replace the missing letter with apostrophe. So we often use these contractions in the spoken English. It is not for the formal English. Uh, in letter etc. We cannot use it or we don't use it because it is used in the informal language. So we replace apostrophe with the missing word. So here are some contractions. I am. So we will say it I am. He is, we will say it he's, she's, it's. We can say are, is, where, you are, there, and we can use have with we, you, they, like we've, you've, they've, and we also use apostrophe s like as a has with he, she, it. So it is he's, she's, it's. It depend on the form of the verb or depend on the tense. So we will discuss it later that what is this. It is has or it is would comma plus d. So he'd, she'd, it'd, we'd, you'd, they'd. And how we will use will. I'll, he'll, she'll, it'll, will, you'll, they'll. So these are some contractions. There are also some exceptions. We will also discuss it later. That we cannot just make a contraction by placing apostrophe in the missing word place. We have some exceptions also. So we will discuss it later. So short forms contraction of negatives, and we have also short forms of negative. So we use isn't instead of is not, hasn't instead of has not, don't instead of do not. Look, we use apostrophe in the place of missing word, and also we skip the space. Do not, it is the space between do and not. So we will use don't, and also skip the space. Cannot, can't, are not, aren't, could not, couldn't. Now come to the exception. Exception is will not. We will use will not, won't. Look at the exception. We also use the apostrophe and also skip double L, and we say it won't. It is we also another exception is shan't. Shall not instead of shan't. So shan't is another example. We have more exceptions. We use gonna instead of going to. We use wanna instead of want to. So these are the exceptions. So now come to the contraction. I can mean I would or I had. So the problem is here. How you can understand that the contraction I'd is would or had. So here are some similar examples. You would or you had. He would or he had. She would or she had. So how we will recognize it? So we will recognize, we can often tell if I'd means I would or I had simply by looking at the context of the sentence. What is the context of the sentence? Context of the sentence is the form of the verb or the form of the tense. So if you know about the tenses and the form of the verbs, so you will recognize it by form of the verb or form of the tense. So however we are not sure, we must look at the grammatical form which follows the contraction apostrophe D. Take a look at this table for an explanation with examples. So here are some examples. Take a look now. The contraction apostrophe D can mean would or had. To tell the difference, we need to look at what follows apostrophe D. Would is followed by the bare. Would is followed by the bare infinitive without to. Would be, would go. Example is I would like some tea. So you can say I'd like some tea. So this is called the contraction apostrophe D is equal to would. He'd go he'd go if he had some money. He would go if he had some money. It'd be a good idea. So look at the form of the sentence or context of the sentence. So we will use would in these contractions. Would can be followed by the perfect infinitive have a plus past participle. Would have been, these are the past participles. Have plus past participle. I would have gone if I had had time. So you will say I'd have gone if I had had time. He'd have been 70 today. So it is the contraction of would. Now come to the had. Had is followed by a participle, participle had gone, had been, had spoken. So it is the past perfect tense. If it is past perfect tense, we automatically it comes in our mind that it is the contraction of had. So he had gone or he'd gone. He'd been married a year. So these are, it is past participle or had plus past participle. Now come to the I'd better do something. Used for giving advice or warnings. For giving advice or warnings, we also use had. So it is the context of the sentence that it is the contraction of had. I would rather. It is the context of the sentence or a form of the sentence or a tense that I would rather live in Paris than in Rome. I'm tired, so I'd rather not go out. So these are the contractions and how to recognize that it is D, that contraction D is used for would or had. Similar is in the case of apostrophe S, that it is for has or for is. So we also look at the context of the sentence or the form of the verb or tense. So this is the topic for today. It is very important topic, and keep in mind one thing, that it is for the spoken English or for informal written language. It is not for the formal language. We use formal language for letters, application, etc., or for office communication. So we don't use that contraction in our formal language. So this is the topic for today. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe the channel and like the video, and also make some sentences of would, had, has, is, and I will wait for your feedback. So thank you for the subscription, please, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Take care.